Look at this. Look at all these books. I should be a librarian. Look at me. Oh, wait. Shh. No talking in the library. Hello everyone, welcome to this video. I apologize if you hear the air conditioning on. It's hot as fuck. I know I'm wearing a sweatshirt, but I'm trying to be comfortable. So I've been watching a lot of videos lately and getting inspired by different people. One of the types of videos I've been watching are book reviews. The ones that I've been watching are negative book reviews. I feel like we all turn into leeches when it comes to negativity, and it's like, yeah, give me the dirt. But I thought that I would make a positive video in the book community and try to be inducted into this subgenre of YouTube. So I used to read a lot because I used to be a writer. Okay, I mean, I used to write a lot. And so in turn I would read a lot, but that stopped. But for some reason at the beginning of this year I got jolted by the thought of reading, and I don't really know where it came from, to be honest, but I did it. I started reading. I didn't know who she was. We had a falling out, but we're back and we're besties again. Just so y'all know, I think I put it in the title, all but 2 of these books are Stephen King books. Because I got on a Stephen King kick. I don't know why. I don't know what happened. So I apologize for the lack of variety, but I'm also not sorry because Stephen lives up to his name and he is the king of horror. So the first book that I read this year is Carrie by Stephen King. Look at us. We could be sisses. Sisses? Okay. I decided to read this book because it was pretty short. As you can see, it's not that long. But I was slightly bamboozled because look at how close together the text is. But that's okay. It didn't deter me. But even so, it was still a quick read. I finished it in less than a week. Overall, it was a good book and I recommend it. The second book that I read is The Mist by Stephen King. This was also a quick read, not very long. So I didn't really read a description about the book before I read it. And I didn't know it was like a monster creature like story. And I don't really read those. Realistic fiction is where it's at for me. But it was still interesting to read about, you know, like monsters coming out of nowhere, like trying to fucking fuck shit up. I don't know. Wow, good review. The one thing that I can note about the book is that the ending kind of made me mad. It was funny because I had thought of an ending, like a possible ending, and the ending in the movie was what I thought of. So I was like, that's actually pretty cool that I get to see my thoughts come to life, even though like they're not, I didn't write the movie. I recommend reading the book because it was short and interesting. The third book I read this year is The Shining by Stephen King. So obviously everyone's heard of The Shining in one way or another. I had watched the movie when I was younger, which first of all, why was I subjected to that? Second of all, I didn't pay attention to anything. I didn't really pay attention to the movie, but obviously everyone knows the actors who were in the movie. It was really hard for me to picture anyone but the actors while reading. I don't even know how many times Wendy was described as blonde, but I was like, no. Shelley Duvall had black hair, so Wendy has black hair. I don't care what the fuck. I don't care what came first, the chicken or the egg. Like, she has black hair as far as I'm concerned. The book was really good. I watched the movie afterwards, and I can see why Stephen King didn't really like the movie. I'm with you, Stephen. Like, don't worry, we're on the same team. Standing alone, the movie's pretty good. Like, the visuals obviously are amazing, but compared to the book, it's like, I don't know, because a lot of things were changed, even the ending, so it's like completely different stories and like outcomes. But like I said, if you don't compare the two, the movie's good, but the book is like where it's at. Oh my god, it's so heavy. The next book that I read is It by Stephen King, just in time for September 6th. So I can honestly say that I loved this book. Hello. This is also the longest book I've ever read. And I didn't realize it was that long because this book looks like, I mean, it's thick and all, but it doesn't seem to me, at least, my simple mind, that it would be over 1,000 pages. I don't know. I was in it to win it though. I didn't care to check. I was like, let's read this. Even though the book is long, it really didn't feel like it was that long. And also, I didn't find myself being like, okay, when is this story gonna end? I honestly wanted to keep reading. I was like, I need to understand, like, what is this and why and how and like where and when. But to be fair, there were like backstories where I was like getting bored during them, and I was like, can I just skip this? Everything made sense and everything connected at the end, so you kind of have to like tough it out. And I'm excited for chapter 2. The 5th book I'm read, I'm not spending too much time on it, but since I read it, I'm mentioning it anyway. Supermarket by Bobby Hall, aka Logic. No tea and no shade, but this book wasn't amazing. It was okay for a quick read, and it was like my filler book for when I got back home from school and was able to get access to the Stephen King library we have. And unless you're a Logic fan, I don't think you would really like give this book much praise, because if someone else's name was slapped on here, I know I wouldn't read it. Not to say it's bad, but it's just like nothing that jumps out at you. And there's also a bias already because he's in pop culture, so if you don't like him, you're not gonna read it, and if you like him, you're gonna read it and you're gonna love it either way because it's like, hey, like, cool, he wrote a book, you know. But that's that on that. The 6th book I read, we're back on track with my man Steve, and it is Pet Cemetery. I heard about the remake coming out, and I was like, you know what, this is kind of interesting. An evil cat, like what? Like what could that possibly be? Like I need more context. I need to know what happens. So I was like, hey, let me read the book and then let me watch the movies, because I knew there was like an original movie. So I started reading the book, and I just so happened to start reading this book at a time that I was going through something similar to the main characters. Not like my cat becoming evil, more to do with loss and grief and coming to terms with mortality and all of that. Reading about like characters dealing with the same thing kind of helped me wrap my head around the fact that it's normal and it's a part of life. So I mean, not to get all like sad or anything. After I read the book, I watched the original movie, and that was some of the goofiest shit I've ever seen. A lot of it was like word for word from the book, which you would expect people to be like, wow, they literally just took the book and like made it into the movie, like great. But no, I wanted to see like a nice little like original take on dialogue. I don't know how to explain it, but if you just say like exactly what they said in the book and the movie, it's like snooze fest. I heard this already. But also, I didn't bother watching the remake after all because I saw the trailer and I saw that they made a huge change, and I was just like not in the mood to be mad. And I know I just said put your own twist on things, but I mean more like the telling of the story, not like changing the story, like parts that like make the story what it is. I don't know how to explain it other than I'm annoyed. But I do want to give props to the cat because he did a really good job acting from what I saw in the trailer. But I also want to say a big RIP because I know that cat passed away shortly after the movie was released, and he's in my heart even though I didn't watch this movie. I'm sorry, sir. Anyway, the next book I read is Misery by Stephen King. So let me tell you, I did not want to start this book. I was not here for it. It was supposed to be another filler book, even though it's Stephen King, sorry. But I was waiting for a copy of a new book, which we ended up actually having already, and I didn't know, but I ordered it. Whoops. So I was like, hey, let me just like, it looks pretty short to me, so let me dive in. But I actually ended up being glued to the book. I literally read maybe 40 pages the first night, and that's like a lot for me at once. And I didn't even want to stop there. I was like, okay, let's keep going. I could read this whole book right now if I want to, but I didn't. Like, when I tell you I needed to know what was happening next, like I needed to know. I just like, I had to keep reading. I needed to know the fate of this man, and I needed to know what the fuck this crazy bitch was doing. I watched the movie with Kathy Bates, which icon, but I didn't really love it. They changed a really big part, and that's kind of what ruined it for me. And honestly, I feel like seeing that on screen would have made the movie better and more intense and like crazier. But the way that they ended up doing it, if you didn't read the book, it's still like, whoa, like that's fucking insane. Maybe they didn't have the budget. Maybe they just couldn't make it happen. I don't know. Kathy still won the Oscar though, so it doesn't really matter what I say. This is upside down. I definitely recommend reading the book. It's really engaging and really good and interesting and like different. That's all the books that I read, but I do have an honorable mention, which is this book. It's called From Panic to Power by Lucinda Bassett. It's pretty much about learning how to cope or overcome anxiety and panic disorders, and I just feel like this helped me a lot earlier in the year, and after reading this I actually started driving more, which is a big anxiety inducer for me, driving. So if anyone needs like some support and they don't know where to get it, I definitely recommend reading this. So that's all I have for today. I hope that this was interesting and maybe it inspired someone to like read more Stephen King, because he deserves more recognition, even though he's like one of the most famous, or probably like the most famous like horror writer ever, other than like Lovecraft and all that, Poe, whatever. But these are books that I overlooked my whole life, and then I actually read them and I'm like, I've been missing out this whole time. So maybe that can happen to someone else. I'm planning on reading more before the end of the year, so maybe I'll do an update or like what else I've been reading in like December or something. I don't know, I think that'd be cute. I think that'd be fun. So thank you for watching, and if you want to see more, let me know. Subscribe. I feel so weird saying that. I never ask people to subscribe, but hey, if you like what you see, like I'm gonna be pumping out more. So if you want to stick around, I'll see you next time. Bye.